Good morning students. Welcome you all in my civics class. This is the second video of class 10 civics chapter 1, that is power sharing. Okay. In my previous video I've already discussed with you all that what is power sharing and what is the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka, right? So today this is the second video, so I'm going to start with the next topic, that is majoritarianism in Sri Lanka and accommodation in Belgium. Okay, so let's start. Now first of all we will know what is meant by majoritarianism. Okay, so as you can see in your book it's given the meaning. Okay, what is majoritarianism? It is a belief that majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. Okay, now this term majoritarianism, it comes from majority. Okay, as you know, majority means more in number who are leading actually. Okay, majority means more in number, right? So it is just a belief that the majority community, those who are more in numbers, those communities should be able to rule a country, okay, in whichever way it wants, okay, by disregarding, that means by ignoring the wishes and needs of the minority community, which is very bad. Okay, so this is just a belief that only the majority community, they're going to lead or they're going to rule the whole country in whichever way it wants. Okay, and here the minorities wishes and needs are totally ignored or neglected. Clear? So this is meant by majoritarianism. Now let's come majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Okay, here Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in the year 1948. Okay, so Sri Lanka, it became independent in the year 1948. As we know, our country got independence, means India, in the year 1947. So here we can see Sri Lanka got independent in the year 1948. Must remember. The leaders of the Sinhala community, they sought to secure dominance over the government by virtue of their majority. Okay, now why? Now here you can see Sinhalas, they were more in number, means they were in majority, right? So they are creating a pressure on the Sri Lankan government, okay, by virtue of their majority, on the basis of their majority. Okay, so as a result, the democratically elected government, it adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. So as a result, this majority, they were creating a pressure on the Sri Lankan government. So what it did, it took some steps, or we can say it took some series of measures, majoritarian measures, okay, to establish Sinhala supremacy, means to make the Sinhalas more powerful in the country. It took some steps or some measures. Okay, now what are the measures or the steps? Let's see. And children, this is very important, so you must go through it. Okay, what were the steps taken by Sri Lankan government to establish Sinhala supremacy? Okay, now first step which was taken by this government, in the year 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. Okay, so in this year in 1956, this is also very important, it might come for 1 mark. Okay, an act was passed by the Sri Lankan government to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. Okay, Sinhala language becomes the official language, thus disregarding the Tamils. Okay, Tamils were totally ignored. Tamil language was totally ignored. Okay, it was neglected. Now, the government followed preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for university position and government job. This is the second step which was taken by Sri Lankan government. That is, the government, it was following preferential policy, means it was giving more preference or importance to Sinhalas. That means those Sinhala applicants who want university positions and also government jobs. Okay, so they were getting this uh, preference from Sri Lankan government. Now thirdly, a new constitution, it was stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. Okay, Buddhism. Why? Because the Sinhalas, they were following which religion? They were Buddhists, right? So this a new constitution stipulated, means declared that the state will only protect and it will foster, means it will spread, it will promote Buddhism only. Okay, so these were some of the steps or measures taken by Sri Lankan government to establish Sinhala supremacy. Okay, now all these government measures, it coming one after the other, so it gradually, means slowly, increase the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamils. They were feeling kind of alienation, that why our religion, our language is not getting importance. We are totally ignored. We are neglected by this government. Why it is happening? We are living in a democratic country, it's democracy, so why we are not getting the rights? Now, they felt that none of the major political parties which was led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders was sensitive to their language and also culture. So they felt that the constitution and the government policies totally denied them equal political rights, and they were discriminated against them in getting jobs also and other opportunities, and they were totally ignored their interest. So as a result, what happened? The relations between the Sinhala and Tamil communities strained over time. Means a tension was created between these two communities. Okay. The Sri Lankan Tamils, after this, they did something. What was the result or the impact? Let's see. The Sri Lankan Tamils, they launched parties, okay, and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language, for regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs also. So what happened here? Now the Sri Lankan Tamils, as they were totally, Tamils, they were totally strained by this. So they launched parties and also they struggle. Why? Because they also wanted their language Tamil to be declared as an official language, and also for regional autonomy, independence and freedom they want, and equality of opportunity, it should be given to them also, na? Because here you'll see that Sinhalas, they were getting this opportunity for education and also for university position. So this Tamils, they also wanted equality of opportunity in securing jobs, okay, and education. But unfortunately, the demand for more autonomy was, two provinces. So it was, which was populated by the Tamils, was repeatedly denied. Okay, it was totally rejected by Sri Lankan government at time. Then what happened? By 1980s, several political organizations were formed, okay, and they demanded an independent Tamil Elam. Okay, now what is the meaning of Tamil Elam? Tamil Elam means a separate Tamil state. Okay, this was the demand of the Tamils. Okay, they wanted a separate Tamil Elam, means Tamil state. Okay, in northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka. So this is clear, children. It is also very important what is meant by Tamil Elam. Okay, so you must have to write Tamil Elam is Tamil, a separate Tamil state. Okay, and this was the demand of the Tamils. Now after that, the distrust between these two communities turned into widespread conflict. Okay, this tension soon turned into widespread conflict. Okay, and it soon turned into a civil war. Okay, civil war, you know very well, children. A civil war took place between these two communities. Okay, finally, and as a result, thousands of people of both the communities, they have been killed. Okay, and many families were forced to leave the country as refugees. Okay, and many of them, they lost their livelihood. So this was the terrible effect, okay, of this tension, okay, and this distrust, alienation, which soon, resulted into widespread conflict, and as a result a civil war took place between these two communities, Sinhalas as well as Tamils. As a result, thousands of people of both the communities, they were killed, and many families were forced to leave the country. Okay, so this was the bad impact, okay, of, or horrible effect we can say, of this majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. So this was the effect. Now let's come to next topic, that is accommodation in Belgium. Okay, what is it? Let's see. The Belgian leaders, they took a different path, not like Sri Lankan government, okay. They recognized the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities. Okay, as you know, Belgium, it is a diverse country. So here the government, Belgian government was very smart. It took a very smart decision. Okay, it understood that here the existence of regional diversities and regional and cultural diversities, okay, and also differences were there. So we have to take some steps so that all of them, they should live together in peace, and no conflict, no war will be there. Okay, this was a very smart decision which was taken by Belgian government. Okay, now let's see what were the steps. First step, between 1970 and 1993 they amended their constitution 4 times. Okay, 4 times you can see they amended their constitution. This was very, very important. Okay, between 1970 and 1993 they amended their constitution how many times? 4 times, children. Belgian constitution was amended 4 times between 1970 and 1993. Okay, why? To work out an arrangement so that they could enable everyone to live together within the same country. That means to accommodate, okay, all the people, so that no conflict, no war will be there in the country. So 4 times Belgian constitution was amended. Okay, now the arrangement they worked out is different from any other country. This is very unique, okay, and is very innovative, means very new, okay, new and quite unique. And here are some of the elements of Belgian model. Okay, so there are 4 elements of Belgian model. Okay, now first, constitution, you can see here, prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. This is the first step. Okay, what does the constitution prescribes? That the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers, they shall be equal in the central government, and some special law, it requires the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. So thus no single community can make decision unilaterally. Okay, means nobody can take the decision individually. So what will happening here? What is happening here? That Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal, means equality is maintained over here. Okay, so that no conflict will arise. Secondly, many powers of the central government has been given to the state government of the 2 regions of the country. So the state government are not subordinate to the central government, means it is not under the dominance of central government. Clear? State government is independent, we can say. It has its own freedom. Okay, it is not under the dominance of central government. Clear? So many powers of central government has been given to the state government. Next you'll see here, children, that Brussels, okay, which is the capital city of Belgium, has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. Okay, here you will see that Brussels has a separate government in which both these communities, they will have equal representation. So the French speaking people, okay, they accepted equal representation in Brazil. Why? Because the Dutch speaking community, they also has accepted equal representation in the central government. So this is a very good, decision which was taken by both the communities. Okay, separate government it is having Brazil, so both the communities will have equal representation, so no conflict, no war. Clear? Now next, this is the another element of Belgian model of power sharing, we can say. That is, apart from the central and state government, there is a third kind of government, okay, in Belgium. What is it? This is known as community government, okay. The third kind of government in Belgium is community government. Who will elect this community government? It is being elected by the people belonging to one language community. Either they are Dutch, French or German speaking. Okay. So no matter where they live, it doesn't matter where they live. Okay, they can elect this community government. Okay, and this government, community government, it has the power regarding which issues? Regarding cultural, educational and language. Means if any community they are facing any problem regarding their culture, education and language, they can approach this government. Okay, so community government is here to solve the problem of these communities regarding culture, education and language. So these were, the four elements of Belgian model of power sharing. Okay, as this Belgian leader or the government has taken a very smart decision to accommodate the different ethnic communities, okay, so that no conflict, no war will be there in the country. Okay, but we'll find this that Belgian model is quite complicated, it's quite innovative, it's quite unique, and but it is quite complicated. Okay, but we can say that it is indeed very complicated even for the people who are living in Belgium, but these arrangements have worked very well. Okay, means it's quite successful, we can say, quite success, because it helped to avoid the civic strife. Okay, that is the civil war, a kind of conflict between the two major communities and a possible division of the country on a linguistic lines, on language basis. Okay, when many countries of Europe they came together to form the European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. Okay, because of these, this innovative ideas of this model of power sharing, this Brussels, it was chosen as its headquarter of European Union. Okay, so you can see the picture is also given over here, European Union Parliament in Belgium. So this is why we can say that Belgian model of power sharing is very, very, unique and quite innovative. Okay, which we can't see in case of Sri Lanka, where the Sri Lankan government does not share power, equally. Okay, as a result civil war took place, whereas in Belgium we can see that this Belgian government has taken very smart decision to accommodate the ethnic communities, okay, in Belgium. So this is the case study of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So I hope, children, this is clear to all of you. So if you have any queries, you do ask. So today up till here, in my next video, we will discuss the other topic, why power sharing is desirable and the forms of power sharing. So today up till here, thank you all, children. Thank you.